Hi, welcome back. I'm Kristen. If you're new here, I'm Kristincooks, and if you're new here, I'm Kristincooks, and I have another quick weeknight dinner for you that is quick to whip up, and also it could be great for if you're having company over for football games. It makes 12 little sliders at a time. So you could easily double it for a big crowd. So I will have the recipe linked for you. It's a really good one, and I highly encourage you to give it a shot for your next football gathering or just for a weeknight dinner. So let's get going. And subscribe if you haven't done so already, please. I really would appreciate your support. And without further, you know, gabbing from me, let's get going. Okay, first of all, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 400. And then we're going to put one package of these air fried crispy chicken strips on a cookie sheet and get those in the oven. Cooked to according to the package directions. And this part right here is optional. I am choosing to toast the dinner rolls, so I'm just making a quick little garlic butter with, several cloves of garlic and then these seasonings here. This step here is not in the recipe, but I like to do this when I'm making like sliders or hoagie sandwiches or whatever. I just like to toast the bread first. It just adds more texture and flavor, and I'm getting all this extra flavor into these sandwiches. So otherwise the bread would just be plain. So I just thought this would be a good step to do in this recipe. Now, back to the recipe here. Okay, I have these potato rolls, one package, just split them horizontally. I'm not very good at this, so I sped this part up so you didn't see exactly how bad I am at this, but you just want to separate the tops from the bottoms. That's what we're going to do. Just like this. As you can see, I did not do a good job. It's okay. It's going to get all covered up anyway. So then I have the garlic butter that I made. So I'm going to brush it all over the surface of the rolls. The inside surface, I should say. Just slathering it on. And I have a big saute pan heating up right now as I'm doing this step. Again, you don't have to do this part at all. You don't have to do this. This is just how I like to kind of zhuzh up a recipe. So I just am choosing to do this part. But if not, then just skip to putting the cheese on and putting it in the oven. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that in a second. But I just wanted to share this extra step that I am doing for this recipe. Okay, here's my little pan I was talking about. Yep, again, this part is optional. I'm putting some oil down in the pan just to make sure that they don't stick and then they get some toasty brown, just like that. I'm doing the tops and the bottoms, the insides of them. Then I'm putting the bottoms into a 9x13 baking dish. Then I'm going to put the cheese on first. If you don't want to put the cheese on first, you could just go straight to putting the marinara on the bread right here. But I didn't want to do that because that could make the bread kind of a little bit too soggy and soft, right? So the recipe notes said to melt the cheese first and then go in with the marinara on top of the cheese, so that will keep the roll from getting soggy while it's baking. We don't want the bread to soak up too much sauce, So I'm doing it like this. I had to get the tater tots out of the oven. That's what I'm going to serve with these. So they're just going to go in the oven just until the cheese is melted and then take them out. And now I'm making the Parmesan garlic butter that we're going to smear all over the tops of those rolls. Yes, we are. So this is just softened, unsalted butter. I put a little Italian seasoning, Parmesan cheese, and garlic salts, I believe. And I'm going to add in some rosemary because rosemary goes really well with bread. So I'm adding that part. That's not in the recipe, but again, I like to make it sort of my own. So, okay, so here's the marinara sauce or spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce, whatever you want to call it. Just spread it on top of the melted provolone cheese. Just like that. And the chicken strips have come out of the oven in the midst of all this right here. Just, you know, they're just waiting on the stove for me to add them to the sandwiches. And this is another part that is optional here. I am going to toss the chicken strips in a little bit of the marinara. Not too much though, because I don't want them to get too soggy. Or I also had a thought. If you liked buffalo, you could toss these in some bottled buffalo sauce too. I thought that would be really good. You know, that'd be a good little addition. But, you know, not everybody in my house likes buffalo sauce, so I'm not going to, I didn't do that. And I just thought of it too. So I just tossed them in a little bit of the marinara sauce. And then I place it on top of the rolls. Just like this. You're going to put the whole package on there. It's only like 1.25 pounds, like it's not that much. But they all fit on there. Just put them in there. Just kind of shove them in there. Just like that. That way everybody gets a really, really nice big piece bite of chicken on their sliders. So it works out really well. And then the next step we're going to do here is add some more provolone cheese. Or no, wait. I decided to get out my Italian seasoning and sprinkle the tops of the chicken before adding the cheese. Okay, now we're going in with the provolone cheese. And FYI, I ran out of Parmesan or provolone, so I'm going in with some Colby Jack, which is just as fine. Use whatever cheese you want. You could do cheddar if you want. I mean, you know, do whatever kind of cheese floats your boat, okay? I should have just put this Colby all over because it was actually pretty good with this. Even though it is a Parm and, you know, Colby Jack isn't originally on a Parm sandwich, but it's okay. It's still good. And then just put the tops on top. Mine kind of ripped and fell apart a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. No one will know. These are all, I'm going to cut these into little sliders anyway, so it doesn't matter if they come apart or not. It's fine. Okay, now I'm going to take my softened garlic butter here and kind of smear it all over the tops so they get nice and golden and garlicky. And these were just really good sandwiches. I mean, my son took one bite and he was like, "This is good, Mom." This is good. You should definitely post this recipe. It's a really good one. So I was like, okay. I mean, my son's 12. I didn't really expect him to be so enthusiastic about it, like right off the bat, but he was, and so here I am. So that's proof for you. This is a great dinner for kids. They would really love it. And if you made it for, or if you have grandkids, whatever, it's a good dinner to make. So in with the tater tots there, I'm just putting it in so the cheese can melt and the butter can melt and everything can kind of get to know each other in here. Oh, you could also put mozzarella cheese too, along with the provolone, because then that would give you a really good cheese pull. You know, it'd be a little bit more dramatic, like when you're serving for people. So mozzarella is really good for that. But I just take it out of my 9x13, put it on my cutting board, and now I'm going to cut these into slider servings. And this is pretty much dinner is done right here. I served with some tater tots, like I said before, and that's all she wrote. This was really good, and these are way more filling than they look. I thought, oh, I'm gonna take 2 because these are small, right? They're sliders, so I'm going to take 2 just to make sure I get enough. And I ended up putting 1 back because they are quite filling. They really are. Like 1 or 2 per person would be plenty. Trust me. Look at that. They look so good, so cheesy. The breading on the chicken did not get soggy at all. I was kind of surprised. There is still some crunch left to it. So that was great. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you stayed and watched, and I hope you make this recipe. As I said, I'll have it linked for you. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the week, guys. Bye.